Hey, hey, hey. I hope everybody's doing good. Carl Bryan coming at you with my boy Pat Bell. Pat is in the DR right now, suntan his
Suffering,
belly. You
suffering for the
lucky
company.
duck.
Yep.
Suffering what?
Suffering for the company.
Yeah, that's it. You poor
Putting my
bugger.
best foot
Everybody,
forward. Yep.
everybody feels for him, don't we, folks? Don't we, folks? He's got his whole family with him, right? You got your three kids, your
Yeah.
gorgeous wife. You're laughing, Pat. You are laughing. All right. If anybody wants to see Pat's family, you just go to his profile on Facebook and you're going to see them all smiling under a tree. What did you put? The bells, or what was it? The bells. It was some play on words.
Did I say the glow bells? I think I deleted that one.
Did you? Let's have a look. Here we go.
Well,
Let's have a
right.
look at the family. Go to your
Right.
profile. Let's have a look at the family, man. Show everybody.
Here's my family.
Not look at that. He's not a handsome man. He's
There
got
we
a
go.
good-looking crew. Here it is. There you go.
Hey, I'm going to tell you
I love
something
it.
though, because after here we're heading to Kenya for a while, and my daughter has just been offered a 2-year position teaching at the same academy where she was in the 4th grade. So
Really? Oh my
she will be
God.
like
Really?
she'll be like 15 minutes away from us. Yep.
No way. Oh my God. The stars are lining up, buddy. I love it,
Yep.
man. I love it. There you go.
Absolutely.
And his two boys. I've seen one of his boys there
And here's
play
Sam.
basketball, and He's got some physical. He's got some athletic prowess in his family. I'll tell you that, folks. But anyways, all good. So Pat, high five, man. We're all happy for you, dude. And on that note, okay, so everybody's here. Hopefully you guys just saw Pat's family. But as you guys know, this is the Q&A call. Pat and I do the A. You guys do the Q. So we need to get some questions going. So either raise your hand if you got a question, or just plunk it in the box there for us. All right, we need some questions, but until then, let's go open up some of our folks. We're going to open up Dave McKenzie, my boy Dave. He's always got something interesting to say. Dave, you're self-muted, buddy. You want to say hi? You got to unmute yourself. Come on, Dave. You can't be shy now. You're never shy, man. Oh, there he is. Okay, put his hand up. What's he saying here?
Sorry,
okay, there he is.
Mute.
Yo, Dave, what's happening?
Working away, snowing like hell.
Actually, I think we got a congratulations coming for you. You had a record month, did you not? Am I right in that? Is that your record month?
Yeah, it's not over yet. It's only the 2017th. So I'm actually working on another deal. So.
All right. Well, so where are you at? Make everybody jealous here. It's a big number.
I'm hit 40 so far this month.
40 grand. Bingo,
yeah.
Bango, bongo. That's what I want to hear. And in fact, you are going to be one of our presenters at our virtual event. It's going to be coming up in January. We're going to hear all about it. Correct?
Absolutely. Except it's not rocket science.
That's what we want to hear. I told you, man, you're going to be the star. Actually, I was telling Pat great about that. What? Tell us.
Hard work.
Yeah.
Now, don't give away the secrets, Dave.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, there's other secrets, but it's hard work.
Yeah. No, we know. And on the software, you got a question for us?
Not really. No. It's awesome. It's income driving. It's actually simple.
Yeah,
and it's leading edge. Like I had a situation this week with a guy who was looking at a competitor, we'll say.
Yeah.
And I was charging him $5,000 a month, and I have no idea what the competitor was charging him. And I had just sold him because I knew him and I was doing some other work with him, and sold him on the idea of doing it. So I said, well, let's do a jump start. And when I did that, it was game over for my competitor.
I love it. Yeah. So you'd say that the software was like what you're saying is introducing the software uh, when you're going against a competitor trying to get the same business. That one sealed the deal for you.
Blow them out of the water. Yep.
So I want to hear. We all want to see that in January, my friend. Well, good
Yep.
job. High five. Keep crushing that record-setting month. There we go, buddy.
Yep.
And we're gonna put you back on mute. Appreciate you, Davey boy. There we go. Let's keep moving here. Actually, so who do we got? Bruce Robb. Bruce Robb's got his hand up, or he's got a question in there. Yo, Bruce Robb from Australia.
Hey,
What's
Carl.
happening?
Yep. Hey, Carl.
How's it going?
Good, thanks.
Good, good. What's the good word from Brisbane, Australia?
Good word. It's very wet over here and humid at the moment.
Is it? I don't feel sorry for you, in case you're wondering. Snow on the ground. Pat left us.
Yeah. I can
What's
imagine.
going on, Bruce? You've been using the software. Any questions around the software?
Yeah. There's one. I guess I'll talk about it for the others. Just I've been running through the deep dive and the Jumpstart 12 to get familiar with it. I've showed it to a couple of clients initially, but towards the end of the report, it talks about products and services, and in there it mentions a half-day confidential business assessment, and then also a lead generation and tracking system. I was just wondering. I spoke to Glennis about it. She wasn't sure, and I'm just wondering what that is, what they are.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Actually, Pat, want to go first? I'll follow up.
Sure. These are 9 different options you can include. You can change these up.
Yeah.
We do not, we don't provide the senior business consultant. That's you. You provide that.
Yeah.
The half day, you can change it to a full day, 4 hour, whatever you want to change it to, a 2-day. Wouldn't recommend that, but half day, that's a good one to do. The lead tracking and reporting system we do not offer at this point. It hopefully will be coming in the future. It'll be sometime next year. But if you don't offer it now or you don't have a system, just take it out.
Right. Okay. All right. I just wasn't sure what that was. I understand you can report and take things out and that sort of stuff. So okay. No, that was all. Otherwise, it's good. I mean, as previous guy said, I have shown it to a couple of clients initially, and they're getting me back early next year to do it, because over here everybody closing up and shutting down for Christmas. But they were very impressed with the software and said, "Wow, we need to get you in to do that for us." So it is a really good tool.
Awesome. Hey, Bruce, and I just might answer this too for the benefit of just yourself and everybody listening too. And you see point number 2 there, half-day confidential business assessment. So the way that, so I would come in, let's say, Bruce, you were the chiropractor, hypothetically, or whoever, the dentist, butcher, baker, whatever. I would come in and then I would do similar, very different back then, but, let's just call it the Jumpstart 12.
Yeah.
And then that populates a roadmap. So I would do the same thing, populate a roadmap, and I'd say, okay, Bruce, do you want to work? I can either leave you with these results and good luck to you. But we didn't cover any rocket science here. I know you need a little bit of, assistance, a little bit of accountability. Michael Jordan had a coach. Wayne Gretzky had a coach. Shane Warne had a coach. Whoever you're going to name, Steve Waugh had a coach, right? Ricky Ponting, all the Aussie boys. But, right. So they all had coaches, and you need one too, right? Like, the coach couldn't play cricket better than Steve Waugh, not even close. But that's not the idea. It's the kick in the pants and the higher level viewpoint. Tiger Woods couldn't watch himself swing his golf club. So anyway, if you want to work together, here's what I can do. I can go away. I can do some work, yada, yada, yada. I'm going to put together a very comprehensive roadmap, and I will come back, and then we will go out, we will go through the findings of that roadmap. So if you want to rock and roll, it's going to be X, $1,000 a month, $2,000 a month. Dave just said $5,000 a month, whatever your number is. Give me the step, let's rock and roll. I will go away. I will do the work, and then you and I will get together. And then, you want to do it in the next few days. So if it's Monday, about Thursday or Friday. If it's Thursday or Friday, it's going to be Monday or Tuesday. I'll come back with the findings, and we'll get this relationship going. So I used to call it half day in the trenches. So number 2, that half day was actually, I called it half day in the trenches. It was actually 2 hours. For the reason being, after 2 hours, there is a little bit of a, you lose your own attention span and definitely theirs. So we call it half day in the trenches. It was 2 hours, and I'm just going over exactly what Pat's showing you right now, which is basically the report. So a little bit of just so you kind of understand where that comes from. And it doesn't need to be another half day in the trenches. It's literally sitting down and going through the findings of what you did in that initial meeting. And that's a great first coaching session, and it gets the ball rolling. It gets everybody on the same page, and it gets the snowball starting to roll. Make sense?
Yep. No, that's good. Thank you.
Okay, awesome. Okay, Bruce, appreciate you, buddy. Pat, as I finish that, anything to add, subtract?
No, it's good.
Comment? Good. Okay, Adrian's asking, where do I update that? In fact, let's open up Adrian here. Adrian, you're on mute there, buddy. You got to unmute yourself. I got your question here. I can just read it. So I got my reading glasses on like a good boy. Okay, Adrian. Okay, Adrian's just asking, where do I update that content for you and everybody listening? Pat, can you just hover over the download report there?
Oh yeah.
You just see up above, guys. You just download the report and you make any adjustments that you want. So, and then your report is ready to email to your client or print off, and then you sit down and go through it with them. So that's the answer there.
Let me speak to that as well.
Yeah, please do.
We've covered this, of course, many times before, but it was quite a few months ago, I think. So we have a download report here. We have instructions to edit the report there. But what you want to do is go back to your dashboard and go into training. And under training, you'll see a video here on editing the report, and there it is. This is really important you watch. The issue is, a year and a half ago when we first came out with this version of the software, I guess it was not quite a year and a half ago, just over a year ago, we came out with this version of the software. Our developer, William, spent a lot of time, it was probably a solid month, working on the report. We had some other things we also wanted to develop, and we just said, William, at this point, let's stop there because it's so time intensive to get a perfect report. So what we've done literally is we've taken the process of creating an amazing report down from a week or so down to about an hour. And the first time you do a report, of course, you're going to download it. What I would do is create a full report with all the areas. I would download this report here, and then I would create a template and save it as a template. And then what you do is you take a lot of time. It's probably going to take you a good hour if you follow the instructions. Might take you 90 minutes, whatever, depending on your skills. But take the hour, create a template for yourself, make it look exactly like you want it to look. You'll have to enter some text box here and things like that. Just create exactly what you want and save it as a template. And then when you go and do an actual report for a client, take that template, save it with the client's name so you're not messing up your template. And then you'll be able to do that report for your client probably in 15, 20, 30 minutes, whatever.
Yeah. Boom.
That's the process.
Agreed. Yep. There we go. So everybody takes that advice. Boom. Okay, we got some more questions here. Look at this. Go, buddy. Go, buddy.
I also mentioned the roadmap prints off a lot nicer. It's much more basic. The roadmap is for you. Once you've already got a client, you're going to create a roadmap for them to follow. This is a much more basic outline. It doesn't have all the graphics of the other one. And then when you go into a digital report, go here. You've got a couple options. One is the roadmap. This report is a 2-pager. And this prints off really nicely though, so you don't have hardly any adjustments here, but you still can download it. Let's have a look here and see what happens. See if I can, oh, there it goes. I can download it. Whoops. Let's go where that was. So it looks, I mean, very basic. These are graphs that you can, move around, shrink, do whatever you like with something like that. You can change the size of the font here, things like that. But it's very simple, a 2-pager that you can just hand to someone literally. For the main software report, I would not recommend at all just saying, hey, let me just give you a report. It just creates automatically. Let me email it to you. I wouldn't do that. I mean, I would put more value in that report and say, let me go away and create a report for you. Let's meet again next week. So I need to put some time into this, and that puts value behind it. So that's it, Carl.
Cool. Love it. Yep. Good job. Good job. All right. Ken has got a question. Ken Picking. Ken, you're self-muted, buddy. You got to unmute yourself. Oh, where'd you go? Where'd you go, Ken? There he is. Ken, you're live. Hey, hey.
Hey, Carl, we talk all the time, don't we?
Long time. I was going to say, long time no chat, man. Long time no chat. What's going on? Give us your, for benefit of everybody here, give us your question, buddy.
I, as a newbie, just wondered how many use the PAS the first time they sit down with a business owner.
Yep. Okay, I want to hear what Pat has to say, but here, Ken, and again, first of all, remember guys, whenever you're coaching somebody, the first thing you do is you establish the little red arrow, you are here. So Ken is a pretty impressive. He sells merchant services, right? So, you go into bars and restaurants. They currently have X, program that they're running. And then he's got a program that does that, but then also creates a lot of online orders. Think Uber Eats, that kind of thing, depending upon Deliveroo, wherever you are in the world. Okay, so that's the little red arrow, correct? You are here, Ken?
Yes.
Right, that I described. So that's important, right? So the answer is that generally you wouldn't use. You've got the good fortune of being in front of a business owner. You're doing some business, and now you're gonna introduce this as either part of your offer stack. Remember we talked about that to make your offering worth more. For everybody listening, what I mean by that is if I sold you something for like $9.97 over the internet, and then I've never met you, what I would do is I would create about $10,000 of bonus for every $1,000 that I wanted to get out of you, right? So if my price is $9.97, I've got bonuses to the tune of $10,000. That's far from some scientific formula. That's just kind of you'll see that in other internet marketers, right? So, Ken is in there trying to close X merchant services. You could see how he could throw in, maybe he doesn't want to do the consulting where he doesn't want to charge 24 grand for 12 months to do the higher level stuff. What he could do is sit down with every business owner for 45 minutes, go through the Profit Jumpstart, populate a roadmap, use the sexy verbiage of 490. We're going to rip your business through 497 million weighted algorithmic sequences. That's going to basically populate a roadmap that you and your staff are going to be able to use for the next 12 months. And I'll come up with, between 6 and 12 areas of your business where you're going to be able to really take it to the next level. I'll email it through and you and your staff will have that roadmap, right? So for the benefit of everybody listening, no doubt you could see how that would be a benefit. So with that being said, Ken, if you introduce it the way that I just described it as part of your offer stack, I think you put them in front of Profit Acceleration software as soon as possible. If, let's assume you didn't have the merchant services and you just contacted a business owner, you definitely wouldn't put them in front of PAS. What you do is about a 15-minute call or one-to-one appointment. You'd get them sort of, salivating a little bit, like, gosh, let me at that. You'd describe the software. You'd give them the pitch of finding them $100,000 in 45 minutes without spending $1 on marketing or advertising. I would definitely lay some verbiage into that conversation that I'm very busy. I can't keep up. Careful what you wish for, that kind of stuff. And then I'll tell you what, I'm super busy. I got my inbox is full. I think my left ear might pop off if I get another email. But what I will do is I will set aside 90 minutes for you and I get together next, within, this week or next week, and I'll rip you through my software and I'll populate one of these roadmaps and we can see where you're at. So you'd put the PAS in front of them in that second meeting. You following? Am I making sense here, Ken?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Two different approaches, right? So,
Yes.
so just again, make sure everybody just heard what I said. One is that if it's part of an offer stack, he'd do it as quickly as possible, get it out of the way, and it's just a way for him to close more merchant services deals. He's not really selling it. He might, but he's not really selling it. He's using it to close an existing deal quicker, right? Think, do you want me to supersize that at McDonald's? Same concept. But if we're going in pure consulting, a very different approach, and I would use a 15-minute call roughly to get them salivating, explain how amazing the software is and the $100,000 in 45 minutes, and then set up not a 45-minute call, always set up a 90-minute call. And the way that you do that is say you're going to have some questions. I want to make sure that I'm going to be able to answer any of those. So instead of doing 45 minutes, I'll find you the $100,000, but let's allow 90 to make sure that, you know, I set you off on your way and you can really crush this. So that's the way I do it, Ken. Your world a little different than somebody else's, but does that help? That answer the question?
Big help. Thank you.
Before I go, Pat,
Yep.
could you chime in, please?
Yeah, and I just want to make a note there. You know, what Carl was just saying there, it's very scripted in a sense, because I hear the same words almost in the same pattern, you know, week after week after week. And so, I think, you know, good lesson here is, you know, get the recording here, watch the recording or listen to the recording, write down what he's saying, and then go back and just memorize it. And you know, you're scripting it out, and then practice it and practice it. And when you can just, you know, roll it off the top like he just did, I mean, that's magic. So what I would say is, here's another scenario. You're at like a sporting event, you're at a restaurant, whatever, you meet someone, they say, hey, what do you do? And talk about, you know, what you do. And you say, traditional business coaches, they say, hey, trust me, and then they take your money, and you're not sure if you're going to get results or not.
Pat, we lost you, buddy. Sorry, repeat that last bit, please.
So, you know, a traditional business coach, you might be at an event or a restaurant or something, and they might say, hey, let me just trust me because I can help you grow. But what we would say is, what I would say is, let me show that I can help you by helping you. And so let's just sit down for 45 minutes. And if I can't help you grow your business in 45 minutes, I'm sure not going to help you grow it in 4 hours or 4 weeks. And it's very non-threatening. Let's just meet for coffee or something. And, you know, like Carl says, get 4 walls, you know, so you're not going to get interrupted. But just meet in a quiet place, book 90 minutes, but say in 45 minutes, I'm going to find you $100,000 or more without you spending additional dollar in marketing or advertising. So just say, I'm going to help you by helping you. And the people find it non-threatening, and they love that. Like, yeah, that.
Hey, Pat, you're just fading there, bud. Please want to hear what you're saying. Go.
I'm just not sure what you missed. But,
Better.
Yeah, I'm as close as I can be with the mic here.
Cool. Okay, so I just want to reinforce what you're saying. Make sure again. So just when you guys, like Pat says, again, you hear me saying it. I say it slightly different ways, but really what I'm doing is I'm spitting out the $100,000 in 45 minutes without spending $1 on marketing or advertising. When I mentioned the software, if you have a look at Pat's screen, you see in the purple up there, 497 million weighted algorithmic sequences. I'm just spitting that out, and it populates a roadmap. That's really what I'm doing. I'm going 100K and then 497 million weighted algorithmic sequences with some verbiage in the middle. And what's important about that, like what Pat just said, which is super important, the average business coach will say to them, look, I'm going to really help you grow. I'm going to help you become more successful, right? Like they use these platitudinal kind of, you know, words. Like there's nothing finite there, right? So whereas we say $100,000, 45 minutes, 497 million weighted algorithmic sequences, right? Like there's some real tangible, you know, stuff that they can chew on there. So anyways, that's good. Awesome, Pat. Thanks for that feedback, buddy.
Let's go down to
Ken, go, buddy.
Let's go down to Urshel Metcalf has had his
okay. All righty, Urshel, we're coming for you.
Raised for a
while. You are self-muted, Urshel. Urshel Metcalf. Sounds like a football name if I ever heard one.
DK.
There you go. Okay, Urshel, you're self-muted, buddy. Oh, there he is. Urshel, you're live.
Awesome. Thank you. Can you hear me?
Hey, we
Yes.
can. How's it going?
Awesome. Great. So this is a question. First of all, I'm fairly new. I'm absolutely loving everything that the work that's been done, and just gives a phenomenal opportunity for closing business. One of the things that I had a question about is in the priorities and implementation. When it produces the Gantt chart in the implementation after you do the priorities, yeah, so right there. Now, obviously, this is a selling tool, but I love the Gantt chart here. But my question was, is there any way, like with some of these items, we'll be working them concurrently? Some maybe 2 or 3 things will start in month 1. So is there any way to have concurrent activities instead of just automatically going from the first priority and then when that ends, starting the second priority?
Yeah, good. So Carl, let me take this. We are in the middle of changing this. We have our lead developer, William, working on implementation calendar. And we're doing this in 3 phases over the next probably 3 months. The first phase is we are moving this from months to weeks. So it's going to be much more refined in what you can do. We're going to be able to insert things like planning meetings, quarterly reviews, things like that. Second phase is you're going to be able to have a very simplified coaching approach. So we're going to be able to find different notes and things like that. However, on phase 3 is where we're going to be able to do things concurrently and have a much more dynamic system in here with things that you can just click and drag around and move around and slide into any week or whatever you want. And then ideally, what's going to happen is that everything is like let's put it this way. Imagine right now I'm doing cut costs first. And because I'm doing cut costs first, there's a certain financial impact. And I'm doing market dominating position second, there's a certain financial impact. Now, if I move market dominating position under cut costs and do it concurrently, the financial impact will be different because I'm doing this faster actually. So what we're going to do is we're going to have that so the impacts are dynamic. This is our goal at least. So if we move things around, you're going to see the impact changing here according to where you move things. So we'll have, yeah. So long story short, we'll have a simplified process for coaches who want a simple system, and we're going to have a very detailed process for coaches or consultants. Maybe they're working with bigger companies and they want a more detailed process.
There we go. That answer your question, Urshel?
Absolutely. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it.
And by the way, you a football player? That's a football player's name if I've ever seen one.
Yeah, well, I think everybody in my family is a football player except for my little sister.
Put the pads on her. Put the pads on her. There we go. What position were you?
Cornerback.
Cornerback. Well done. Well done. There you go. Actually, I played some corner in my day as well. Pat was significantly better. I never played against Pat, but he was significantly better than I was. That's for damn sure. But he was a running back. So there we go.
Oh, he didn't
football players. We what? Sorry.
He didn't say he was playing in the corner.
Oh, there we go. That was a pot shot at me, Urshel. If you didn't catch that, there you go. Hey, that's why I love it. Love it. Cool. Keeps me honest. Okay, Urshel, good job, man. You all good? Did we answer all your questions?
Yes, sir. Thank you very much.
You bet. Pat, I'm going to remember that one, man. I'm going to remember that one. I love it, man.
We got Troy.
Where am I going?
Troy Noonan.
Okay. Troy, we're coming for you. Troy Noonan, you're self-muted, buddy. Self-muted. If we can't open you up, if you plunk your question in there, we'll. Oh, there he is. Troy, you're live.
Takes a few clicks. Hey guys, how's it going?
Fabulous. What's happening?
What's happening? Summer, raining, as I think the guy up in Brisbane said. It's been hammering down rain for the last week or so down here.
Yeah. Cool. We don't feel sorry for you in Canada, but that's okay. That's okay.
It's sunny
What's your
today anyway, so we'll survive. Hey, so question for you, it's not on the acceleration software. It's more on the e-learning system. On the front page of that, it says we run you through 30 fundamentals of business.
Yep.
Yeah, what are they?
The answer, if you go through the 52 weeks, you're going to see that there's 30 fundamentals. Like some are part 1, part 2, part 3. There's 30 fundamentals that make up the 52 weeks. That's the answer to that.
So when I summarise that, I got to 24 though. So maybe my groupings are a bit off. So do you guys actually have like the secret source list of those?
I'm sure we do, Troy. Now ask me if I know where the heck to find it. Now, you know what? Can you do me a favor? Email Adrian. He'll have it somewhere. He'll have it handy. Yeah. So, but there's 30. That's where it comes from. Cool bananas.
Yeah.
Awesome. Anything else we can help you with?
No, not so far. All good.
Beautiful. All right, Troy. Gonna put you back on mute. All right. Where are we going here, Pat? Mark Reed. Okay, Mark Reed, we're coming for you. Mark, you're live.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Can. How's
Great.
how good?
We're just getting past here in Oklahoma, having basically 6 inches of snow, which in Oklahoma 6 inches of snow is like 2 feet everywhere else.
Yeah, look out. Well done. You go skiing.
Yeah, exactly. It's not a bad idea, but the mountains aren't real big in this part of the state.
That's it.
Nice hills.
Cross country skiing. That's it. Go telemarking.
Had a question regarding had a good question regarding revenue share and how to approach that strategy, approaching that with a client either at the beginning or later on after you're proving yourself. And also, I'm sure it's covered somewhere, but I wasn't sure where I could learn about how to engage the formulaic, the contract aspect of engaging a client with revenue share, and you know the strategy of that versus a monthly cost of coaching. If you could talk to that, please.
Okay, yeah, I'll have a crack first, and then Pat can give us his 2 cents. But it's real simple. You know, look, if you work with a company and let's say they franchised or you really cracked it. You know, no doubt, let's say you're $2,000 a month, 24 grand a year. You could see how it makes sense for you to get a percentage of that extra magic, right? Just
no doubt.
Conceptually, that's pretty, you know what I mean? It's straightforward as heck, but that's why and kind of how you have it. So there's a couple ways you do it. You logically, if you're going to put in a contingency, again, this is theory, but like you'd lower your monthly retainer a little bit, get the deal done, and then you add like a back end contingency. But as I say that, be very, very cautious. Remember, again, the nuts and bolts of it, I want you to think of the contingency deal as much as a sales tool as anything else. It just really is, right? And what I mean by that is that let's say that you're $2,000 a month plus 5, a 2.5 or a 5% contingency. Your conversions will be higher on that than if you're just a $2,000 a month coach.
Right.
And I realize that goes against conventional wisdom, and it'd be like, but I'm way more expensive this way. It just appears to be a lot more of a partnership on a, what's the right word? Like, you know what I mean? On a preeminent standpoint, it makes you look like, holy cow, this guy works off of my profits, like my income. Holy smoke, sign me up. Like, this is the coach that I want. So it's a beautiful sales tool. So you should be doing it. Another way that you can do it. So let's just say you're going to be $2,000 a month and then a 2.5% contingency. Pretty straightforward. Another way that you can do it is like on milestone payments. So let's say that they're at $1 million gross when you meet them. Once they hit 1.2 million, you get, let's say you put in 4 milestone payments and then you get a $10,000 hit once they hit each of the milestones. So let's say you do it at 1.2, 1.4, 1.6, and 1.8. So you make an extra $40,000, and it will have the same kind of effect in that it will increase your conversions. And that's another way that you can do it. So a milestone. And we're not doing this tomorrow, but we're working what I just described, the milestone payment, that will be worked into the software. Not tomorrow, but it's on the hit list to be done. So,
Okay.
so that's the answer there. No rocket
Right.
science at all. You're just adding
Yeah,
a contingency.
I did something somewhat similar to that when in my own consulting business prior to
Yep.
coaching. That
Yep.
I had a contract with one client because he wanted to do exactly what you said. He wanted to expand to multiple sites and was going to
Yep.
take a lot more time. And I say he had a trust in me, so I engaged him with the consideration of that. And I had a contract ready to go, and we just talked about what the different levels would be and what those payoffs would be and everything. And it worked out pretty well.
Awesome. Yeah. So again, that's the kind of deal where you, like you said, you put in a lot more time, effort, and energy. You deserve, more than just the monthly fee. So
Great.
there you go. Does that help? Any other questions for us?
It does greatly. Another question I had, and I'm almost embarrassed to ask this, but I've been looking and looking. I can't remember from the training when we first went through the past software. There's the Jumpstart 12, but I was looking for the Deep Dive 40, and I can't remember if that was something yet to happen or if I'm just not finding the right action.
Have a look at, no, well and truly there. So see Pat where he is, new assessment. Click that. There'll be a drop down. Boom. You just pick Deep Dive.
Got it. Okay. I'd forgotten. I remember that now. And again, I'm sheepish because I should have remembered that. But thank
All
you
good.
for that.
No
Yeah,
worries.
totally.
Okay, cool. Is that you all good?
Perfect. Thank you.
And Pat, anything you'd add there?
No,
What I
that
said?
sounds great. Yep, all good.
Okay, great. Hang on. Okay, Andrew's got a technical question here. This will be for Pat. Pat, we see I don't know if you see that network error there on your screen. I want to do a hard
Yeah,
refresh.
I
Or is
lost
that something
connection.
different?
Like,
Okay, don't worry. No big deal. Just in case you see it. Okay, Andrew Kerr, you're self-muted. He's got a question here. Andrew. Okay, Andrew, let's just ask his question. How can I make sure that when I enter a number do you see that, Pat? How can I make sure when I enter a number in the recent valuation entry box, in brackets valuation section, that it will change the valuation shown in the 1 year impacts? You follow that?
Oh, yeah. How can I make sure? Well, you can test it to see if it happens. So let's go there. And, look, for the sake of, I see some new names on here. So what we're going to do, we're just going to set this up. XYZ Daycare, Profit Jumpstart, a dollar amount, and we'll just call this December 17. So we'll scroll down. We're going to find it here. Click on it. We're going to put our financials in. First thing we do. So we'll just call it $1 million because that's just easy numbers to recognize, with a net profit margin of 20% and a gross profit margin of 50%. And let's just say we're in the accommodations. Well, let's just use our own. Let's say in the normal industry would have a 25 and let's call it a gross profit margin of 55. Whatever that industry is, it doesn't matter. So you see our number here is $1 million. The current model is 20%, so that's 200,000. So under valuation, we'll just answer a few questions, and we'll hit that question that you'll see. Over the past 3 years, has your revenue been steady or growing or declining? Let's say it's growing by 10%. What we'll say is it's going to be 110. If it's growing by 10%, it's 110. If it's shrinking by 10%, you put 9. Same thing with the industry. If you're to sell all your inventory assets, this is just a little bit of training here, but don't slow down assessment for this. Just get a ballpark. It's like, I'll just ballpark it, whatever, like 200 to 250,000. They go, yeah, that sounds good. Do you have a financials prepared by an accountant? If they do yes, then it raises the value. If you have one customer that accounts for at least 15% of revenue, if they say yes, it lowers the value, because if you lose that customer, you're going to suffer a big hit. Yes, raises the value. Great question here. Are your marketing and sales processes documented so sales are predictable? The business model is scalable. You're not sure what that means, click the question mark. Recurring revenue, and here we go. What's your business been valued at? Now, what we do is we just leave $1 million in there, and that is a number that just comes from your financials. It's just thrown in there automatically. So let's leave it at $1 million, and let's see what the valuation is. It's better work. So the valuation here, 1.291167. Now, if we were to change that, what was your business valued at? Let's put 2 million. This is the test. I've never tried this. 1.791. So it was valued at 2 million, but according to us, we're saying it's 1.791. Now, here's the thing. Again, this is not something you start arguing over, whatever. This is just a sales tool. Like we note here in the beginning, this is a sales tool. So what we want to say is, we want to find out the impacts on your valuation that are indicative of what is possible. And you go, is that fair? And they go, oh yeah, that sounds fair. So, whatever it is, if it was, let's say, my business was valued at 500,000, it does work, 1.041. So we're actually saying it's worth more than your business was valued. But again, these are just this is just a sales tool. We want to find out some answers to questions. This has been checked by a business broker. We consulted with a business broker before we did this section. But yeah, just remember it's a sales tool. The numbers are indicative of what's possible. Because what at the top here, let's say impact on your market dominating position. And I'll just enter a 5% impact in here, and we'll just leave nothing there. So we just have 5% overall. We see here a $50,000 impact in revenue, and we had a 50% gross profit margin, which means a $25,000 impact on overall profits, which is a 13% impact on profits. Now, this is a $25,000 1 year. We also want to see that happen. What's going to look like over 5 years? Because if you can help that business cement in those changes with good policies and procedures, SOPs, you're going to see that impact last over 5 years. So that's additional profit of 125 grand over the next 5 years. And again, you'll see your valuation go from 1.041 to 1.074. So there's an additional $33,000 of impact there. That's a lot of impact. So, to a reason, it's kind of a justification. Let's really go after this, because it's not just 25 grand this year, 13% this year. It's a 5 year and it's a valuation. That's why we're doing it.
Beautiful. There we go. Well, high five, Pat. Good explanation, man.
I just scripted that. I just not really.
Okay, awesome. Okay, so let's go. We got some more questions here. Elliot's asking about getting the report and a PowerPoint presentation. Elliot, that is, I don't know, maybe one day.
Maybe one day, Elliot. It's we dreamed about that for a while. It might happen one day. But again, what you do is put together your own template and then just copy and paste, kind of like you do the report. Just create a template. And if you create one, share it with the group in the Facebook group, and we can improve it, and people can take a stab at it and make it better. And as a group over time, over 2 or 3 months, we're going to have an amazing PowerPoint. And then if we get something that loves, hey, we could throw that in the software and program. So,
Awesome. Yeah. So Elliot, answer is not just it's not on the drawing board right now because we got so much happening with the group with all the different improvements that are happening. We got the guys going hammer and tong. Jonathan, if you saw Pat pull up the new assessment, that's where he can't find the digital acceleration software. You just go new assessment. There's a drop down. And then if you're not seeing it, it might not be exercised. So you got to email, where do they?
Yeah, it's here. It'll be in here as purple ones. If you don't have this, then we just, let me see here. It's, what's under DAS? No results, no fee, /DA software.
There we go. Go there, Jonathan, if you're not finding it. Boom, that's how you get it loaded.
Right there.
And for anybody else, all right. And Ken is asking, would you ever negotiate your monthly retainer to be subtracted out of back-end percentage? My answer, Ken, my answer would be no on that. Pat, any differing views there?
I would do a retainer against commission as one thing, possibly retainer against contingency, but I mean, I just try and keep your retainer. You don't want to lose it. But, let's say your contingency fee is whatever, 10%, you're going to make $100,000. And if you did a retainer against contingency and over the year you were doing $2,000 a month, so it's $24,000. You made your contingency, so they're going to owe you $100,000 minus 24. I mean, you just got to find a way to put money in your pocket. And if that's what closes the deal, go for it. But at least try and keep that retainer.
Yeah, fair enough. All right, and now we need to open up. James Lawson is in the house. My good buddy. James Lawson, yo, you're live. What's happening?
Hello, hello? Can you hear me? Hello?
You Scottish son of a, Jonathan or James, nobody can understand you, man, with that Scottish accent. So let's not even try.
His translator is right next to him.
No, Angela, you beautiful thing. Oh my God, I miss you guys.
I know.
What's happening?
Cancun next year.
I know. Yeah. All right, so listen. Hey, here's what's going on.
Yes.
We're getting engaged.
Yes, we're loving this guy. This is like ridiculous. Like seriously,
that's what I want to hear.
Ridiculous.
That's good stuff.
Beautiful.
So a couple of things that we're trying to kind of just figure out a little bit, Carl, is the best place to interject this in the process, right? In terms of the lead gen. That's kind of one thing. And the second thing is there a number? Like, is this one of these things where, listen, if someone's making less than $100,000, don't even bother, or so I'm looking for a little bit of guidance around that as well, if you don't mind.
Gotcha. Easy. Okay, so Pat, I want to throw it to you here when I'm done. But so number one, by the way, guys, if everybody, James and Angela have been with us, how long you guys been with us? Like it's a long time now.
I think it's 6 years now.
6, 7.
6 years. There we go. 6 years. I think it might be longer than that actually, because I think you came to all 5 of our events.
Yeah,
and then we had our first event. You guys were already with us. So it's been a long time. So they've been to all of our live events and we love them and we drink some beers together. That's possible. It's possible. All right. Okay. But let me answer. Okay. Number one, where do you position it? Like it's a sexy tool, right? But think like Russell Brunson, ClickFunnels. He'll tell you, if you listen to any of his stuff, he doesn't sell you software. He sells you the result of the software, and then the software is the solution. So I would be promoting, assuming we're going to the butchers, to bakers, to candlestick makers, right? Like the business owner, you're going to find them $100,000 in 45 minutes without them spending $1 on marketing or advertising. And then I would back that up with some images of the software. Okay. Right. But that's the result they're looking for. And then the image will just reinforce that this is legit as opposed to some hairy fairy napkin deal. Right. So the answer is in question number one is I really wouldn't introduce it, but I would introduce imagery. And of course that's very gray for, what I'm saying in black and white. So that's the way I do it. And then question number two, or is that answer number one? that good? Any question?
Yeah, kind of, Carl. I mean, one of the things we're looking at, right, there's a couple of different tracks we're going down, but one is certainly having this, rather than doing like offering a phone call at the end of the webinar, it's having some screenshots of past and saying, listen, you know, we'll kind of build up, imagine having blah, 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 and then having people go into a questionnaire, letting them fill in a questionnaire, and then at that point we can either qualify or disqualify based on the answers we're getting.
Yeah, but if we're telling them we get 100K in 45 minutes and they're making, you know, $12
50 cents.
For the,
So
I believe me, I know we can do it, but is that
I got you. But most of the people that are coming to your events, again, they have like a going concern. So, let me answer part 2 in a sec. But yeah, I just want to make sure that, and then I would also have a look at Pat's screen here. You see the 497, weighted algorithmic sequences. I just think that can be conveniently thrown out there. Like it's got, like, who doesn't, like, you're going to what? You know what I mean? Like, remember, curiosity is the goal. Curiosity will get them to fill out the application form. And then curiosity will also get them on that 1-to-1. And that verbiage, the 100K and the 497 million, I think does that in spades. And then backed up with imagery of the software. And I think you're rocking, like with your guys's. Yep.
Am I correct in saying that when you're doing this assessment, you're answering, they're answering the question and you're doing it. You're not sharing your screen, right?
Yep. Okay. So this is so number 1 is to sell them on the PowerPoint at the end of I might just, for everybody listening. Okay. So Ange and James do some pretty impressive, like they do group coaching and they'll do live events, and then they close you at the live event, either by a webinar or you're in front of them. Yep. And then they do a platform, what's called a platform sell, right? Like a platform sale presentation. And then you either take the next step or you fall off the cliff and they continue on. So with you guys, what I just described, Ange, is what you guys would do in your close, 100K in 45 minutes. And then the 497 million weighted algorithms, get them super curious, imagery of the software. And then if you want to take the next step, you fill out this application, right?
Right. Perfect.
Now, the next step is now you're doing the 1-to-1. So no, I would show, so now let's assume you guys are doing this virtually, which you do most of it. Yeah. They will be looking at your screen and they'll be looking at exactly what Pat's showing you, but on pause. Okay. So you guys would, and again, this is, you guys can play with it and find your own style, but you would have this on pause right now. And then you would go into market dominating positions, ask the questions, put, there'll be a $50,000 improvement, come back to you just hit summary. You'll come back to, you'll just come back to summary. You'll be looking at this page again, and then market dominating position will have 50,000.
Okay.
Right. And then you do leads, you do the questions. So they don't see your questions. You're asking them the questions, you populate the number, you go to summary, unfreeze it. And then, cause you see at the top right hand, I got 2 screens going. I don't know which one's which here. So on Pat's screen, what has he got? You see the 75,900 in the top right-hand corner.
Yeah.
Yep.
This, you want to get that to 100 grand. That's now, like, hey guys, we're already there. Right. So if you don't unfreeze your screen, they're not going to see this number climbing. Make sense?
And typically, Carl, I'm working 2 screens. So I'm usually, I've got whatever I'm working on one screen, and then I'm looking at the client on the other. And that's an easy thing to switch back and forward. So they're seeing the result. They're not seeing all the inputs that we're putting in. They're just seeing the end results.
Right.
Yep. So, that's perfect. Right. So anyway, so that's the answer. And then you would go, and the only thing that I think I would show them, Pat, can you hit ROI for us, please? And then I would unlock the screen and say, holy smokes, look at this. We just found you in this instance, $95,900. I'm going to charge you a whopping $23,000. Look, if I had a 20 and you had a 10 and I said swap, what would you say? I'm offering you that plus.
Right.
Let's not fart around here. Let's do this. So it's a 307. So using this screen to your advantage as well. So that's the answer to number 1. Okay. And then answer to number 2, which you guys asked, like, okay, if you've got like a business that hasn't even got started, can you use this? And the answer is absolutely. What I would do is go in and I would populate some numbers. Like I would just say, okay, James, you're the guy, right? Like you're
Yeah.
selling your widgets. And I would just say, so give me an idea. You're obviously just starting, James, but we got to be able to use the software, and I got to populate some numbers. So what's your unit of sale? You say 5,000, right? And then I go, okay, so and what's your margin on that? You say 50%. And then I say, how many do you think in the first 12 months you'd sell? Just roughly. Do you think we could do 10 a year? You say yes. Boom, right? We got 50
Right.
grand, whatever.
Right.
Ideally get it to 100 grand, right? So now you've got a framework to start with, and they're going to be like, okay, but it wasn't just from fresh air. You established it by asking them some numbers. Now, James, do you agree that is this realistic for your first 12 months? 10 sales, 5 grand, 25%
Absolutely.
margins. What do you think?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So then,
Yeah.
and then you go for, and then you just do the process as per normal. So
Okay.
that's what I do. Make sense?
Perfect.
And yeah,
Before we,
Go ahead.
Ange, go. Ange,
no,
go.
I was just saying at the end of a webinar, we always do a, sense of urgency and limitation, right? So we're like, hey, we're going to offer 5 business owners this and blah. So my question is, sometimes we put a value at, so this call is valued at $497. So, I mean, I know this could be valued at, people sell it, right? So is there like a realistic number? Because you start saying $2,500, which is totally valued at, but at the end of a webinar, people be kind of BS, right?
Yep. That one, I encourage you to gauge your own audience, but gosh, if you sit down and go through, like, you're going to find them 100, like, again, it comes back to money at a discount. If I had a 20 and you had a 10 and I say trade, 1, you go, is he full of crap, right? 2, you look for social proof. And then 3, you go, yes, and you get pissed off because you didn't run to the front of the stage quick enough and somebody else did. And then you say, will you do it again, please? Exactly that. So you're going to find them 100 grand in 45 minutes. Look, I don't know. I would say that's worth $5,000 every day falling off a log. But I think we could, to your point, Ange, maybe that's a little, that if that's going to throw off a few folks, and it may, you go 997, whatever number. So I would encourage you guys to test that, but hard number to give you.
Sure. No, that's great.
Makes sense. Before Pat, any feedback on what we just said?
Yeah, I think, every business coach has their sweet spot of the type of size of business they want to coach. Maybe they've got some experience working with sales teams or something, and those kind of businesses obviously are in the $1 million range.
Right.
So, personally for me, if I see a business with making an annual revenue of $75,000 a year, it's going to have to be almost pro bono. I don't mind helping them if they're a friend, but they want to pay something or has to cost them something anyway. I've done barter businesses like that. But I'd rather work in the business with the business in the $1 to $5 million range. It's kind of my sweet spot. I've done it much larger as well. The problem for me is with larger businesses, you've got committees that then you're going through to get things done, and I don't like to work with committees. That's personal preference. So 1 to 5, you're not really, 1 to 5 mil, they're not usually dealing with committees. It's a CEO or just says, go and do this and gets it done. But he's got a budget to get things done.
Yeah.
That's what. So you look here on the screen, we got 12 areas here that at 5% each. And if you're starting with $100,000, you're only coming up with a expected increase in revenue of $61,000. I think my probably isn't refreshing me properly. Let me just do that again.
Yeah, that doesn't suck though.
No, it doesn't look right because I got a 50% gross profit margin in there. But anyway, the idea, the numbers are pretty small. And there we go, $35,000. It's probably closer to it. I'm not even sure it's right still, but
Yeah, but you know what, Pat, for some businesses that are sitting kind of stuck and frustrated, that kind of growth over the next 12 months, it can still look pretty attractive.
Oh yeah, I agree. But is it right for you though? And
well, it depends the program, right? So we've got a group program, and we're looking at this really for a kind of higher end, high level kind of coaching program. Now that we've got the group thing running, so it really depends where we're looking to slot people in for sure.
Yeah, and actually, I'd love to pick your brain on the group because we're building some group coaching software.
What's your last name?
Happy to talk, Pat.
Bell, Bell. I'd would love to pick your brain on that because I know you've done really well. You've hit it out of the park already, and we want to be able to provide the right platform and scenarios for people. So
Happy. Yeah, happy to.
Happy to do it,
Let's
dude.
connect. Yep.
All right. Well,
That'd be
thanks
awesome.
for that, guys. Appreciate
No
it.
worries. Awesome chatting to you guys. Love you guys. You look after yourselves, and we'll get you on more of these calls, man. When I saw your name pop up,
I know. We're excited.
I'm like, awesome.
We're
Okay, guys.
Say hi to
Sorry?
Tammy. Bye.
Okay,
Say
we'll do. We'll do. All right, awesome, guys. And now I've got to hang on. Where are we going here? Okay, James and Angela. Okay, there we go. You got them on mute. Okay. Tell you what, we have one more question. We're going to go to Lauren. Actually, you know what? Sorry. I have to go pick up my daughter, or my wife will never speak of Tammy. She will never speak to me again. So I apologize, folks. We're already a couple minutes over. So good job on the questions there, folks. But yeah, we got to, I got to bolt. I apologize.
we'll pick it up. Yeah, we'll pick it up on Tuesday. So
yeah. Cool bananas. Okay. Well, Pat, we appreciate you, buddy. Everybody asking the questions. We appreciate you guys. Any questions we didn't get to? Yeah, Lord. So, yeah, there we go. Anything here? But no, we're good. Thanks so much, folks. Appreciate you playing full out. We will see you on, when are we going to see them? On Tuesday.
Yep.
See you then, folks.